In many parts of Africa, there is always a struggle for power. Struggles for power begin from the struggles for internal democratization of our parties or units where we belong when we come to power. The politics of compensational structure, the politics of deficit, the beginning from a deficit, that I had a deficit. I had a deficit before I was born, or when I was born. I found myself in a poor family. It's the politics of compensation that haunts Africa today. Many people want to take on leadership, but it's the leadership as a basis of where you came from, or the leadership has qualities.
My father bought me my first shoe in 1981 from a Mr. Onyango on the street for 60 shillings because he could not afford the butter shoes. Why am I saying this? Today, as you can see, the gentleman who did not have shoes is sitting at the high table. With the son of the founding father.
Sasa kama nitaambiwa naongea siasa, lakini I'm not, I promise. I have no such intention. But, you know, when you hear people out there, you know, they talk, oh, huyu mtu fulani, dynasty hii, sijui dynasty hii. It's not about that. Leadership is not about where you were born. It's not about where you came from. It's not about the color of your skin. It is not about your tribe. It is just about a desire to serve, a desire to do good, a desire to make a difference in the lives of people. And anybody can do that.
For a leader to be a leader, he must have qualities. Identify himself with qualities of good behavior, qualities of no corruption, qualities of no hatred, qualities of engagement, discussion with others, collective responsibility, listening to the people. These are the qualities. A leader who delivers does not need to have a background. A leader who delivers can deliver without a background of the rich or the poor. Many people in Africa seem to be misinterpreting that once you are born, you directed God to produce you in a particular family. None of us would have been where we are had we actually had a message from God where we would be born. I therefore look at this as compensational politics. Meritocracy is the answer. Meritocracy gives you the position that you yearn for. Meritocracy delivers you a position. Meritocracy gives you what you are doing for the people of Kenya or Uganda or whatever country where you are in Africa. But if you don't have these qualities, even if you are born from a family that had the whole world as theirs, then you cannot be a leader. It is therefore very important that the leaders who yearn to become leaders in Africa stop the usage of compensational politics. The politics that you want to compensate on others simply because you were poor, simply because you didn't go to a good school, simply because you don't drink in the same place where they drink, simply because you don't eat in that restaurant, simply because you don't have cars. That politics has got syndromes traits of people who are either corrupt or have hatred or have a problem on itself. And therefore,
to you. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Gutu. It is the 23rd of March 2021. A beautiful morning here in Nairobi. Good afternoon, good evening. Trusting your day has started off well. And depending on where you're watching us today from across the world, we have a lot in store for you. We shall go through the news-making headlines here in Kenya. Indeed, worrying trends. This new wave has brought us of COVID-19. So we continue to urge you, wherever you are, please maintain social distance, wear your mask in public, sanitize or wash your hands if you can. Not if you can, you should. All right, so that you're able to protect yourself and you're able to protect the people that you love. On the panel this morning, I'm joined by Musa Abdi Haji, all the way from Isiolo County. Musa, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning to every member of the panel and every viewer from wherever they're watching us. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm grateful to be here.
All right, Musa, it's really nice to have you this morning. And we're also joined by Douglas Kirimi, all the way from Meru County. Douglas, good morning. Okay, Douglas is, technology there. But Jevon from Nanyuki also is with us. Jevon, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers. And good morning to my fellow panelists on the panel. Thanks for having us on this morning.
Nice to have you, to see you this morning, Jevon. Douglas, good morning to you.
Good morning, Wendy. A very good morning to you, Miriam, and also to our viewers. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much. As I said there, we do have a lot to talk about this morning. And so let me just go quickly our headlines this morning. As usual, the three leading newspapers in Kenya today, and we see what they say on the Standard newspaper. The main headline there reads, Uhuru Raila allies surprise BBI move. And then down there, a pictorial of President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday attending the mass of former President, the late John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania. And on the side there, COVID-19 runs a riot, claims more lives. Lona Irungu wants a KTN producer succumbs to disease as Kenya's positivity rate hits 22%. And now I think we top in terms of our percentage in the continent. So this thing is pretty serious, you guys. And we turn our attention to the Daily Nation. Civil servants face pay cuts in July. And down there, impeachment, 5 MPs could seal Ruto's fate. And then just on the side there, hospitals charge hefty fees for ICU COVID beds. Yes, because they're overwhelmed and they're trying to tell you to just make sure you're safe so that you don't have to end up there and experience this inconvenience. And then on the Star newspaper, the main headline, COVID vaccines come. Rogue staff sell jabs. Now this is just out of order, and we'll see what's really happening in this headline. And of course, the pictorial of President Uhuru Kenyatta there in Dodoma yesterday. Up there, party is over for civil servants as SRC slashes allowances in cost cutting plan. And then just down there, smooth start for KCP exam amid COVID-19 pandemic. And then an opinion piece there by Michael Waikenda on page 20. UDA party is overrated, a non-starter. And I think that will form the basis. We were supposed to have it yesterday, but we went straight to Dodoma, where we are airing the live images of the mass there and the public service that was happening of the late President of Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli. And so before we get into that, let me just bring us up to date with the latest figures. In Kenya, the number of confirmed cases right now stands at 122,040 cases. The death toll is 2,023. The number of people who have since recovered is 90,376. Uganda, 40,687. The death toll is 334, and recoveries is 15,133. And we go to South Africa, being the leading country here in the continent right now. The number of confirmed cases there stands at 1,538,451. The death toll in South Africa is 52,196, and recovery so far is 1,463,953. And let's just keep and just move along to the total cases in Africa this morning, standing at 3,053,525 cases. The number of people who have died in the continent from COVID-19 is 101,600 cases, and recovery so far is 2,717,000 and 407 cases there. So the people who have since recovered in the continent, the global statistics have surpassed 124.3 million cases worldwide, and those figures are set to change because, as I keep saying, different countries update they're different, the latest figures are differently. As you know, we are all in different time zones there, so those figures tend to change now and again. All right, so let's just start with the Standard, and let's go to the main story there. Uhuru Raila allies surprise BBI move. A new clamor by a House team populated by allies of Uhuru and Raila to amend the BBI bill has raised the heat over what has been dubbed a Parliament's ceremonial role. And the story is on page 4 of the Standard newspaper. Let's see what's really happening there. Okay. So the push to change the constitution has run into new headwinds after MPs demanded to be allowed to make amendments to certain proposals. A joint legal committee of the two houses, which is populated by allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, is said to be pushing for parliamentary changes to the BBI bill. This came after a sustained purge on Deputy President William Ruto's supporters in July. Although the constitution states that Parliament has a ceremonial role in a particular initiative, the lawmakers have stalled the tabling of a report by the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Building Bridges Initiative until some contentious issues are addressed. So there are issues actually in the BBI that could be legislated in Parliament and passed as a put forward as bills and actually be passed as law. But there are others that involves changing how a parliament is constituted, and especially the executive there, that will require for us to go and vote for as Kenyans in the referendum. But there are sections of that BBI report that can be done in parliament. So the size that is allied now to the BBI proponents, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila, they're saying there is a possibility. They now want to, from the story that we're reading, and even some yesterday, they want some of that debated in Parliament and passed in Parliament. Douglas, how do you see this playing out, and perhaps will this work out? And what are the dangers of leaving this thing to politicians there in Parliament?
Thank you, Miriam. And I will anchor my opinion this morning on what the president said. When the president was meeting delegates from Sagana, he said that people are telling us that these proposals can be passed through Parliament. But he told the people and also the media that you saw what happened with the revenue allocation formula when it went to Parliament. It had a stallment over 12 times. People were meeting over 12 sittings and they could not agree. And he told us about the sugar issue when we were told that the sugar and mercury, that people were bribed in Parliament, that he cannot trust this process with the parliamentarians. And also our Parliament, Miriam, from my own understanding and also from what has been flying in the public domain, is a Parliament that we cannot be able to trust. A Parliament that MPs can be given $100, 10,000 to be able to shoot down the sugar report This is not something that we can be able to trust them with a constitutional moment, Miriam. And I also believe their quest to amend this BBI report is not bill is not in good faith, Miriam, because we all know that when our MPs go to parliament, they can be bribed at night to shoot down the expectations and aspirations of the people of Kenya. And this is what the people of Kenya proposed. Remember, Miriam, these MPs did not bring us the BBI report. The BBI report came as a result of consultations across the 47 counties of the Republic of Kenya. It is a document that was spearheaded by the people of Kenya. It is a people process, and for a people process to go through, it has to go to the people, Miriam. And also, one thing that irks me is that these MPs and an opportunity as the representatives of the people, exercising our power as a people indirectly, they had a chance to be able to come up with such amendments and better our lives and better our governance as a people, as a country, as a constitutional democracy. But these people did not do that. But when the people come up with a bill and it is sent to parliament, it becomes a bill, and then they want to amend it. They want to go and say that they want to pass it in parliament. Miriam, this morning, I don't trust them. I trust the people of Kenya who came up with the BBI report so that they can be able to bring it to fruition. Remember also, Miriam, the president is no longer in charge of this process report. The Right Honorable Raila Odinga is no longer in charge of this report. It came as a result of consultations among the people of Kenya. The ultimate test will be the people of Kenya, the people who described the BBI as a hearing process, the people who want this constitutional moment anchored in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Before the people of Kenya were asked for their opinion on this constitutional moment, Miriam, we knew we have two parliaments. We have the National Assembly and also the Senate. We would have told them to come up with something that can heal our country. But Miriam, we knew that we had these two houses of parliament, and we cannot be able to trust them at this point, even if these people want to do an amendment to the bill today. Miriam, it is frivolous for these people to continue thinking that they are working for the people of Kenya and they are working for their own interest. And at the end of the day, the people of Kenya are going to decide on the fate of the report that they generated themselves from the opinions of over 47 million Kenyans and also from 47 counties, Miriam. So okay. My opinion on this is if all factors remain constant, we don't want MPs mentoring into the BBI report. I know that there are sections that can be done in parliament, but they could have done that as their legislative duties. We pay them from our taxes, but we have decided let this thing come to the people so that we can decide the fate of BBI report, Miriam. Thank you.
Very well, thank you so much. A couple of issues there that Douglas have raised, citing even previous examples and how that went when we saw them debating the revenue allocation bill. We saw how that happened. He's also reminded us of that sugar mercury scandal that we had a couple of years ago, not too long ago, and how that happened and how MPs are being bribed in their washrooms there. Before we even get into the nitty-gritty of what they think they want to amend and legislate there in Parliament, is this likely to be another cash cows and a window that they've seen they can manipulate this process and perhaps a benefit at the end of it all, Musa? Javen?
Yes, Miriam?
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Musa.
So you're asking me if this indeed this amendment
have they seen an opportunity where they think they're going to benefit and they might try to use this as a cash cow and manipulate the whole process and not really go ahead and legislate as they're saying they want to do?
Definitely, Miriam. I can say yes and I can say no to that also. Yes, in the sense that whatever is happening as far as these amendment issue is concerned, Miriam, when you try to draw the trajectory of how the bills were passed, of how participation and things were done from one perspective to another, you can draw the trajectory very well, Miriam. But now things started lagging, when it is at a very important stage. And what do I mean by this? The stage we are in now is that after we are done with County Assembly passing the bill, the next is going to decide on the date of referendum. Secondly, whether we are going to decide to take some of the bills, to parliamentary proceedings. Some of them are going to be taken to, public referendum. But now all this has been stagnated by one key factor we call mixing political issues with the political processes. The political issue we are speaking about is 2022, Miriam. But this political process of BBI, the Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2020, is being stagnated by people whom I shall not call them names, whom have already started their ambitions for 2022 by trying to frustrate the president on whom he should pick, on whom the successor shall be. So I've seen the president very focused on as far as this is concerned. But now the people who really stood with him with highest sense of loyalty are now coming back with demands saying that, yes, we are ready, we've done post-election coalition agreement with parties, but for us to support you in this, we need this and this. So we are now seeing the president finding himself in a situation, yes, it is a good bill, but now people are trying to use the bill as a stepping point for them to achieve political gains come 2022. That's already what we've seen. And some of the frustrations from these political parties, starting with Orengo, when the other time he went up and he said, we are going to the Jacaranda grounds and sort of Kamukunji grounds and sort of the stuff. When you look at some politicians also, Miriam, who are trying to wage for regional political representation. We've seen a deputy party leader of a certain party saying, I'm going to form my regional political party to wage for my presidency. And now your party head, Raila Amolo Odinga, is trying to wage for consensus with the president of this country on the issue of BBI. So I see it more of a cash cow, and also I see it more of a stepping point, Miriam, to 2022.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Jevan. Why do you think right now is when the MPs would pick as the the time for them to say, you know what, perhaps after Kenyans have appended their signatures, they're deciding perhaps we need to look at some of these bills in Parliament, which is true. A lot of content there in the BBI report could be passed and debated on in Parliament there. But Kenyans already appended their signature to this, so they might maybe want the content as it is. I'm not sure, but the timing and why do you think these members of Parliament are demanding for this right now?
Thank you, Miriam, because they're demanding for this, they're making these demands right now because this is the right moment, because after they debate on the bill, BBI parliamentary bill 2020, they will not have a chance to interact with it, and they will only interact it on a referendum. Therefore, they think, by some of the logic that they have been using, is that the MCAs were given a 2 million car grants so that they can pass the BBI bill in county assemblies. And I had one member of parliament asking to be given the full amount of the NGCDF, because what we are having in public domain is that the government has not disbanded the funds in full. Therefore, that is one of the requirements that they're asking, because through this CDF, that is where they get a chance to milk 1 or 2 coins from the public coffers. Therefore, they want to hold the government at ransom so that they can keep making these demands. But at the end of the day, Miriam, we have members of parliament who have been non-committal to the BBI process from day one. Therefore, they see this as an opportunity to express to express themselves by maybe demanding for something, because they think that is the only way they will have a chance maybe to pass this bill. There are others who subscribe to the notion of the Tanga, that BBI is about expanding the executive and having a double-decker parliament. Therefore, all these interests combined, that is why we see a parliament that is not willingly to pass this BBI without making these kind of demands, because they feel like they have an opportunity to eat some coins. We know when we had the sugar bill in the parliament that was led by the budget and the trade committee, we saw what happened. It said that they were bribed with 10,000. Maybe that is what they're expecting. But they should understand that they are paid to legislate on our behalf. They are there in the chambers to make registration for the behalf of the people who send them there. Therefore, they are paid by taxpayers' money so that they can represent us. But if they feel like they need more money, Miriam, they can maybe in future choose to go into the business world or in the corporate world, because I think that is where they can make these deals, because you can't make a deal with a process that is about to benefit the Kenyans. Number 3 issue, Miriam, is about the 2022 politics. There are some members of parliament who feel like in one way or the other, they will not have a chance to be in the 13th parliament. Therefore, they are making this a requirement that they must be given some retirement benefits, some service benefits, some so and so benefits, so that when they retire from politics, they can have something to eat or something to enjoy themselves with. Therefore, at the end of the day, we have seen members of parliament who are hungry, members of parliament who don't go there to champion for the interest of Kenyans, but they go there solely for their own sole purposes to enrich themselves. We saw in 2017, the first amendment that they had after they were elected and some re-elected was to increase their salaries, to increase their allowances. Therefore, these are people who have not been committed to the cause that benefits the common wananchi, but they have been on course to ensure that themselves, they benefit a lot. They have a lavish lifestyle. They have the best cars in the country. They live in the best estates. That is what they are interested with. That is why we have seen them. When we have beneficial bills in the parliament, they don't attend. They only attend when they have something that will benefit them, like the bills or something that they will get some or 2-3 coins in forms of bribe so that they can pass these motions. But when we had the issue of coffee, the issue of tea, the issue of milk, the issue of sugar debated in parliament, they don't attend. Even sometimes we lack the quorum to debate some of these issues because they are busy with their 2022 propagandas. Therefore, these are members of parliament, Miriam, to some extent. If possible, we need to send them home and we try to inject new blood into our parliamentary system and see whether we can have some changes in terms of service delivery and in terms of registration. Thank you.
You're saying we send them all home if possible. I doubt that is possible right now. And, you've mentioned the money that members of parliament were given in the washrooms there, the 10,000. I think right now they've upped their demand. I doubt that is what they'll be asking for, seeing that the MCAs got what they got. I don't know. Professor, what do you make of this? A very good morning to you, by the way, and welcome to the show. Members of parliament now demanding that they want to have this, as part of this BBI reviewed in parliament, and perhaps the challenges that might bring.
Yeah, Miriam, it is very unfortunate that the members of parliament are making demands on what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to be registered, and the taxpayers pay them for their work done, Miriam. They pay them their allowances. They facilitate them through the national CDF. And Miriam, the government has never devoted in paying them their salaries. Their salaries is not in arrears. So Miriam, what we are trying to see, Miriam, this is total blackmail. They are blackmailing the system. They are blackmailing the national government into their own thinking. And they know Miriam very well. The budget, they are the ones who pass this budget in parliament, Miriam. So when they are asking where the money, I don't know where it will come from. But you know, Miriam, as I do, the clock is ticking. And you know, in any general elections, 70% of the members of parliament, they go home. So if what they cannot do something which is good for this country, they cannot pass the bill for posterity, Miriam. Kenya is not working on a vacuum. We are still moving. They cannot be paid still, and the government will move. But we should have squandered the opportunity, Miriam, of the redemption strategy of trying to redeem this country. They should not be able to stoop that low, Miriam, because this period of BBI, Miriam, you know very well, their work is ceremonial, Miriam. Whether they shoot it down or they pass it, Miriam, they are very little what to do, Miriam. And Miriam, look at this. The BBI has been a part of the process, Miriam. Everybody has participated. I saw them going to Naivasha. I saw them having the engagement, Miriam. You mean to tell me that, Miriam, sometimes they leave their brains behind? They have been consulting. So they cannot get away with that the MCAs were were given money. That's why they passed Miriam the bill. And this is what I want us to demystify, that the members of the counter assembly, Miriam, they require the grant. Because the members of parliament do get it, Miriam. There are some counties, Miriam, which are so they are so expansive, they are so large that in a way that the members of the counter assembly, Miriam, they need to travel so that they go to the assembly, to the counter assembly, as members of national government, travel from their constituencies to come to Nairobi. So Miriam, from where I sit, the members of parliament are being too cheap. They are being unreasonable. They are being unrealistic. And remember, Miriam, history does not read. History does not forget. Miriam, I have liked the way was it Chavan who was saying, or Musa? If they think there are so much benefits in being members of the county assembly, then just go there. They can't come on and twist us, Miriam. And Miriam's time is not on our side. And let me tell you, you know, Tangatanga is like this snake, which has got two heads. You knock it from this side, it starts going this side. You knock it from, you see how it is coiling. They have got a very nice strategy, by the way. And what we are trying to do all the time, Miriam, we are doing firefighting, which should not be the case. The government has got the machinery, the intelligence, and I don't know why the intelligence are sleeping, or they are getting this kind of information, and they are sleeping on it, so that every other time when we are come to say that, so the Ngatanga is really working. But be it as it may, whether they are going to shoot down this BBI, Miriam, when these countries will go to the dogs, they will regret because they looked at the smaller interest, pet interest at the expense of taking the country forward. So my appeal to the members of parliament, do what is right for you, as Miriam. What is right with what they are supposed to do, Miriam. I don't have the opportunity to sit in the National Assembly because, Miriam, these are the people who represent us. These are the people who oversight. These are the people who registrate. Miriam, they cannot run away from what they are expected to do, that you want this to be done. The other day you were trying to see, Miriam, trying to twist the treasury, that they need the money for the CDF to be released, without knowing, Miriam, the Kenya Revenue Authority must correct money. The government doesn't have that kind of money. We have to correct. When there's enough, Miriam, we disperse. That is how a democratic and a civil society and the gentlemen and the ladies should be able to behave.
Gentlemen. I think the ones in that parliament, we can count them in our one hand in that parliament. I'm just joking. All right. So although the constitution states that parliament has a ceremonial role in a popular initiative, the lawmakers have stalled the tabling of a report by the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Building Bridges Initiative until some contentious issues are addressed. The lawmakers are said to be pushing to have a latitude to make changes to the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 BBI Bill, especially on the distribution of the 70 new constituencies and creation of the office of the Ombudsman. So what about the Kenyans who voted knowing very well that these things are inside there, and perhaps maybe that is why they supported the BBI and went and append their signature? Where does that leave them, Douglas?
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you for that profound question. One thing we need to do is that we need to stop amending the BBI process or the bill. It has been mutilated to the interest of a few people. Everyone that comes up with a plan to mutilate the BBI process, they have mutilated it until we can have no more of the same. Until when Kenyans will have their real issues reflected in the BBI process. Remember, Miriam, this is a process that is not permitted from William Ruto, Raila Odinga, or President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was on the basis and the foundation of the handshake that was that happened between the president and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. But it is the people of Kenya who had decided that they want new constituencies because I attended some of these public participation town halls across Meru County and some 2 other neighboring counties, and I could hear what the people were saying. The people said that they want new constituencies, people wanted more resources to the grassroots, and people wanted a fair representation. They wanted inclusivity that does not only touch on their leaders, it is inclusivity that touches on development. And we have seen part of that inclusivity being implemented by President Uhuru Kenyatta since the handshake. The president has been able to go to areas that are traditionally opposition and give them development regardless of how they voted for and how they voted and who they voted for. What we need to understand is that these people who want to mutilate them, the BBI Bill 2020, are people that don't augur well for this nation, Miriam. Whether they belong to Kiereweke function of government or Tanga, or they belong to the opposition, these are politicians that don't have the interest of the people directly. They don't have the interest of the people that is true to the spirit of our constitution and also the ideals and aspirations of our people. Remember, Miriam, in the constitution, chapter 1, it is said that all sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya, and they can exercise that sovereignty or power directly or indirectly through their elected representatives. That alone tells us the mandate to be able to determine the fate of the BBI process or the bill when it comes to referendum lies to the people of Kenya. That is the greatest component of our constitution, that all sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya. That if the president wants to rule in 2022, whoever will be elected, he has to derive that mandate from the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya have to give them that mandate to be president directly from their own wishes and aspirations and ideals. It is not the president to determine how he comes into power, Miriam. It is the people of Kenya. And this constitutional moment is something that has to come from the people directly. They have decided this time they are going to exercise their power directly. President Uhuru Kenyatta operates under mandate handed to him by the people. The MPs operate under mandate given to them by the people. But the people have decided that the popular initiative has to go to the people and they have to stamp the authority on that document. So this mutilation of this document is not a true representation of the people, their aspirations and their ideals, Miriam. Because this mandate that people want to exercise on this document, there is no ordinary Kenyan that has brought forth another perspective or another alternative to mutilate their document. They want to take it to themselves and stamp the authority and bring a constitutional moment and give birth to new amendments that will bring better governance in this country, inclusivity, national ethos, and all that issues that the people of Kenya decided that they have to bring forth, Miriam. This is what our parliamentarians need to understand as they are working for their whims and qualms, as they are working for their own selfish agenda, greed. They need to understand that the people of Kenya are supreme. The people of Kenya, the sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya. They can decide it is the popular initiative or they can take it the parliamentary way. We don't want these people as the people of this country. We don't want MPs mutilating our document, Miriam. Tomorrow you shall hear some other MP waking up and coming up with another mutilation of the document. And it is the people who are given supremacy by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya so that they can be able to determine the fate of their country, Miriam. And remember, even this BBI process cannot pre-exist the people, cannot pre-exist the populations of the population of this country. The populations have decided, Miriam, it is the high time we bring a constitutional moment to the people to vote for it and anchor it in the constitution, where the MPs went and slept after 2 years and decided that they want to come and mutilate the document. We don't get it, because as an ordinary voter, as an ordinary Kenyan, I don't get where these people get the courage to come and mutilate our document, Miriam. It is a document for the people, by the people, across the 47 counties. It is the fate. The fate of BBI bill will be determined by the people of Kenya, Miriam. And there is no MP as authority over the same, because they want to exercise this mandate directly, Miriam. They have not handed it over to anyone, Miriam. They want it go the popular way. And this is the power that the people of Kenya have in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. As I submit my point, Miriam, the people of Kenya cannot be held at ransom by MPs who want something to eat, who have been corrupted, and people who operate from parliament as if It is their personal ambition that took them to parliament. It is the aspirations and the ideals of the people of Kenya that took them to parliament, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Very well said. There, Douglas Kirimi, all the way from Meru County there. So when it comes to a popular initiative, Parliament usually has a ceremonial role. They are not even supposed to be debating on this bill in Parliament. And right now, as you speak, they have stalled the tabling of a report by the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Building Bridges Initiative until some contentious issues are addressed. And these contentious issues are two. First, we know that the BBI proposes a creation of 70 more new constituencies, and so they want to debate the distribution of these 70 constituencies as well as creation of the office of Ombudsman. Jevon, I'm just curious, why do you think they just picked on these two issues?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. Maybe the issue of proposed additional 70 constituency is something that is close to the hearts because they're member of parliament. And maybe something through the distribution of these counties, constituency, they may get an upper hand when in terms of re-election. And Miriam, in terms of resources, we know every constituency will come with additional 100 million. Therefore, they look at it as an opportunity maybe to subvert their ways to ensure that maybe they take this constituency to their places. Because when they do that, they will ensure that the competition is in some extent reduced. But I think, and this is the case, we know the redistribution of this constituency will be based on the land mass and the number of people in this constituency, because they are populous constituency like Ruiru, like some constituency in Mount Kenya region, Western Kenya, like in Bungoma, we have a very vast constituency. Therefore, at the end of the day, Miriam, I think this is where now the IBC comes in. They jumped before the drums when Chebukati was saying that the proposed 70 constituency are not in line with the constitution or in line with their, and that is their mandate.
Yes.
After passing the BBI, now it will be left to Chebukati to decide in which the geographical extent of these constituency. But as we know, the BBI has already proposed where these constituencies are going to. Therefore, at the end of the day, the work of IBC will come to demarcate the areas and to mark the boundaries, because like in Muranga, in Kiambu, they are getting additional six constituency. Therefore, it will be the work of IBC to come and to determine how they will demarcate this constituency. Therefore, and maybe another issue, Miriam, that the members of parliament have focused more on this additional constituency. Maybe there are some members of parliament who feel like their regions have been left out in terms of adding this constituency. Like if we go to what Silvanus Osoro was saying in Kisii, that in Kisii and Nyamira, they have not been added even a single constituency. Maybe that is some of the issues that you see members of parliament concentrating on these issues to see whether they can push to have their regions added an additional constituency. But at the end of the day, Miriam, we need fairness in terms of representation and the distribution of resources so that we have equality and equity, so that every Kenya, Miriam, will have an equal right to engage or to have the resources near to them. And because we are all members of this country and we all pay taxes, therefore we need to be this cake to be divided equally, or to some extent, if not equally, to be divided with a level of
fairness,
equity, so that everybody will get what belongs to them,
what they deserve. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Now, Musa, if we were to go with the argument that Jevon just laid there, of course, members of parliament, from what Jevon has said there, the reason why they're interested in the distribution of these new 70 constituencies that have been proposed there in the BBI is because maybe they want more to go to their areas. Now, should we assume that is the case? That means they have vested interest, and now they want to debate this very contentious issue in parliament. Are we likely to see a level-headed debate, or are we likely to see a debate that will never end, like that when we saw of revenue allocation, a debate there a couple of months ago?
Yes, Miriam, as far as this is concerned, I've also read the amendment to Article 2228, which says the bill shifts. The bill shifts the approval of the control of budget from National Assembly to the Senate, Miriam. Maybe we are not speaking about this, but some of the underlying reasons, Miriam, and I know you are seeing the reason as to why even the members of the Senate are not so much, heated in this as compared to the members of the National Assembly. Maybe there is that tussle of the supremacy of the House. We've seen that happening, Miriam, many times back. You remember during the time of revenue sharing formula and issues of the stalemate of whether the counties should go with 316 billion or 335. Those were fruitful engagements, Miriam. But as far as this is concerned, the members of National Assembly, these members of National Assembly, they play three key roles: oversight, legislation, and representation, Miriam. If they feel there are some important elements of this constitution which they can amend, because they are the ones who provide legal head start to institutions and formation of these statutory boards in Kenya, then they can go ahead. Like the one we are speaking about, Miriam, is the issue of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. That is amend Article 230, financial control, the issue of county appropriation bill, the issue of higher loans, higher education loans board, help loans. These ones they can work with because these are purely, Miriam, institutional realignment. But there are some issues which are political. Those are institutional and policy-oriented issues. There are some which are purely political and they need political process. Which ones? The addition of the prime ministers, the deputy prime minister's position, the addition of these constituencies, 70 of them, Miriam. If we are going to give members of parliament ability to add more constituencies on the ones already agreed 70, Miriam, we are going to lack institutional framework. We are going to see people demarcating and allocating constituencies themselves according to population, of which even in issues of delimitation, Miriam, and boundary allocation and sort of the stuff, population cannot be the only factor. Like my own constituency, which is really vast, like 5 times the size of Nairobi. The reason why it was put in the BBI, and they said we are not going to change the old constituencies and they are going to remain intact, geographical, Miriam. Those areas, for it to be transversed, the cases of cattle rustling, bandit, it cannot be managed in any other ways. These are nomadic people. They move from one place to another. So even if you say we are going to create a new constituency for you and build schools there, no one is going to attend. But I know the members of parliament are taking one precedence. Since they see it is money, Miriam, the Constituency Development Fund, what they see is that addition of these issues will give them more head gains, it will give them more advantages. But what they are not understanding, this is going to create an institutional crisis. They are trying to perform the mandate of IEBC. No matter how ignorant Wafula Chebukati is, it is the mandate of the IEBC. They have been tasked, Miriam, to demarcate, to allocate, and to decide on the addition of new wards, constituencies, and boundaries, issues like sub-counties, Miriam, with the help of the county government. So my humble submission as far as this is concerned, the members of parliament, what I intend to see here, Miriam, is that now they want also to be the part of this bigger process. They want to have the share. They want to have the presence. BBI is going to pass, definitely. But they want to have some input there. But the inputs are not universal, Miriam, in that it is not universal, but it is not binding to all. We have Tangatangas here, we have the Jubilee here, we have the Kieleweka, we have the larger ODM, we have the ANC. So all these things, Miriam, and you are trying to achieve consensus. I think I will say the members of parliament intervention into this matter is ill-timed. It is too late, Miriam. I think when they will start debating on which bills should be staying in parliament or which should not be staying in parliament, then even that one can act as a stagnant, Miriam, factor in delaying this BBI process.
All right. Thank you so much. Very well said there, Musa Juma Abdi. Not Juma, but Abdi. Haji. Why am I baptizing you again now? It's Musa Abdi Haji, all the way from Isiolo County now. A tweet I've seen from our account is that a case in which former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko is facing corruption charges involving 14.1 million Kenya shillings tender will proceed to full hearing after he was found fit to stand trial. You remember Sonko, according to his lawyers, was not fit to stand trial because of whatever was going on there, some mental issues apparently. But now I think after the assessment, he's fit to stand trial, and so now the case will proceed as was supposed to. Professor, why do you think Parliament has picked on these two issues that they're saying they have to debate in Parliament, distribution of the new 70 constituencies and creation of the office of Ombudsman? What is the intention?
Miriam, you know, as I do what members of Parliament have done, because the constitutional making before. We came with the Palmer's draft constitution, Miriam, who went to Naivasha and they mistreated it. They are members of Parliament. You know you know when someone is fearing the institution, Miriam, you know what they are after. Miriam, you know, Ombudsman, what we are trying to do, we want accountability in the judiciary. Period, Miriam. So, Miriam, whoever doesn't want the accountability in the judiciary, they know what they have committed, Miriam. You know, these members of Parliament are notorious of misusing and mismanaging National Constituency Development Fund. Some of them, Miriam, you know, they are the clients of that judiciary, and they will not want a judiciary which is transparent, Miriam, to deal with them, Miriam. Miriam, you showed the channel we walked with the revenue, the allocation in the last financial year, Miriam. This process, Miriam, cannot be left to the members of Parliament. They have got vested interest. Do you think the people came out and said that now this one is beyond you? They were fools. We know what they have done before, Miriam. So from where I sit, Miriam, and the way the argument, like now, someone is trying to say, oh, we have not gotten a constituency. Do you get a constituency, Miriam, if you don't meet the parameters of being given a constituency? So, Miriam, from where I sit, and why Chebukati, we put him in office, is the one who is going to decide which areas are going to get the new constituencies. After getting the figures, the statistics from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, yes. Miriam, we must have separation. They provide him the figures, then he can be able to say this and this, and he goes ahead to name. So the argument Chebukati is trying to say that, you see, the constitution has to be done 12 months before a new general election, Miriam. Now, this is where the members of Parliament have got powers, which they can amend that section, Miriam. They can bring it up to 6 months. Are you guys what my argument here is? So, Miriam, we must have separation. Let institutions do their work. As we have said, and we are retaliating members of Parliament, they registrate. Let them do registration.
All right.
And in any event, when they are registrating, Miriam, they subject everything to public participation. Some of the issues, Miriam, they are trying to say, are they going to subject it to public participation? Yeah, they are saying this is what they want. Yes, that's what they want. Are they going to inform the people of Kenya, this is what we want? So, Miriam, if we go this way, Miriam, we cannot be able to come into a conclusion of this BBI process. I have said before, and I want to repeat myself, that we are not making the Bible. We are making we are amending the Constitution with amending clause, which by after 10 years or 5 years or so, if we feel we did not do better, Miriam, we can improve. We are improving the 2010 Kenya Constitution. So in the future, in 2027, in 2032, Miriam, we have got the opportunity, Miriam, to revisit what they are trying to do. So, Miriam, if we go that way, we are going to continue having a discussion on this, and it's not going to be over too soon. So, members of Parliament, please do what is expected of you. Pass this bill. They present it to us so that by June, we go to the referendum. I know, Miriam, we are ahead of it because we anticipated that it will take too long in the county assembly. So let every Kenyan not have that fear because the county assembly were able to do it on time. So we have that kind of time. I hope by next week or by next week they will be able to pass that bill.
Okay.
Because even the committee has already done their work. It's only to table it in Parliament. I want to ask them to be more of nationalistic, to be more of patriotic, and see that the country needs that BBI now than ever before.
All right, very well said there, Professor Jared Onyari. Thank you so much. Musa Abdi Haji, thank you. Jevan Karanja, thank you so much. And Douglas Kirimi from Meru County there, thank you so much. Let me just read a bit of that story on page 4 of the Standard newspaper of what we were talking about. Way forward, lawmakers seek views on law review as critics see no need for it. Now, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020, which underwent public participation last week, will not be tabled today at the National Assembly and Senate for the second reading. Chairs of the Joint Senate and National Assembly Legal Committees yesterday requested more time to consider views provided by the public, saying they will be ready with a solid report after they have considered all opinions. A Joint National Assembly and Senate Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, co-chaired by Nyamira Senator Okongo Omugeni and Kangema Member of Parliament Muturi Kigano, held public hearings on the amendment proposed through the Building Bridges Initiative, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, and lobby group Linda Katiba, who have expressed their reservations. But the public participation exercise is coming under scrutiny amid questions of its importance, since no changes can be made to the proposals made to Parliament. So whatever is happening according to the law, no changes can be made. After them, people appended their signatures, no changes can be made in that bill. So once it sails through, you either will vote no or yes. But so far, let's see how that will play out. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu. We'll see you in the next few minutes. Bye-bye for now.